Well, you know what's not going to go away quickly? Well, this is a horrible transaction. I hope they go away quickly.
Transaction.
Transition. It's a hope. See, hopefully it's going to be an easier transaction than that transition that I've announced the second and final chapter of the Midnight Express 40th anniversary celebration this year at 83, 84 to 23, 24. We had the Midnight Express 4-pack of action figure launch in September. And by the way, there's about 500 left, folks, for those of you who want one of those limited edition collector's sets. And then I announced last week, that was the program you were off of, Brian, but we already welcomed you back and everything on your show, the Drive-Thru. So we've just jumped right back into the saddle here. Only a couple of saddle sores. But I announced on the program last week that the only complaint we got from the action figure 4-pack was they couldn't fit it in their budget. And so if you don't want all 4 of us now, you can just get 2 of them. The Midnight Express Tag Team action figure 2-packs are going to go on sale on Saturday, February 10th at noon Eastern at jimcornette.com. Limited in number. There were only 2,000 of the 4-packs. We have 500 left, as I mentioned. There'll be just under 1,000 of the Lane and Eaton set and the Lane and Condrey, let me try that again. The
rare Georgia Lane and Condrey set. Wow.
Quit. Stop it, you dastardly dirty bird. The Eaton and Condrey, there'll be less than 1,000 each of the Eaton and Condrey and Eaton and Lane tag team sets. All of them coming with a full color 8x10 photo of myself with either set of the team, whichever you're ordering, autographed by myself and personalized to your specifications, autographed by Dennis if it's Dennis and Bobby, autographed by Stan if it's Stan and Bobby. And as we mentioned with the 4-packs, obviously Bobby's autograph cannot be on the majority of the photos, but there will be one deluxe package. We've got like 45 pictures of Bobby and Dennis that he signed. This was the last thing that we have remaining that Bobby signed before he passed away. So that will be offered, as well as packages with these tag team sets, both figures and the photo, and the Milestones book that also accompanied the 4-pack, because we got 2,000 of the 4-packs, but we had to get 2,500 of the books to get the price break. 2,500 costs a little bit less than 2,000 would have. Explain that one to me, Lucy. So we're passing the savings on to the consumer here, and we're including some of them in the tag team packs as well. They will not, these books, be sold separately. And I also mentioned that just for shits and giggles, because why not while we're doing this, I want to go out in style, as we'll talk about in a second. We have 500 limited edition of 2-packs of Dr. Tom Pritchard and Sweet Stan Lane, the original Smoky Mountain Wrestling Tag Team Champions, the Heavenly Bodies.
The Mouse's Ear years.
The Mouse's Ear years. And they are, that also comes with a photo of the 3 of us, autographed by all 3 of us, because we're all still around, and personalized to your specifications. 500 of those. These are the first and last Heavenly Bodies figures that are going to be done. As a matter of fact, that's the thing. This is the end of the Midnight Express figures. No more are going to be reproduced of these or made in the future. And you can only get them at jimcornette.com. And again, as we mentioned, we're eliminating the middleman here. We don't have to pay a cut to Walmart. So after the manufacturer and distribution costs, we are all splitting the money equally, including, as I mentioned, Bobby's kids and grandkids. And Stan has thanked
Stan's
everyone
many
now.
Undiscovered children.
No, quit. No, he has been cleared of everything. Believe it or not.
Believe it or not.
Stan is cleared of every outstanding issue that could ever be brought up. And he's a happily married man. He's as I've told you last week or this past week on the Drive-Thru, he's financing his mother's rest of her retirement. She'll be turn 104 in the year 2024.
Can't there be like a Stan Lane boating playset where it comes with a boat and a little microphone?
Well, that might be the next. That's the second career he retired from. That might be the next thing that somebody else explores, because that's the thing. We've been planning these, as we mentioned. It was 2 years. It was August of 2021 that officially the contract. Bobby signed the contract right before he passed away, and now we're here in almost February of 2024. And it took us until this past September to get the 4-packs here and get them on sale. I don't want this to sound like going out of business. That was the greatest thing about fucking Dick the Bruiser's TV show in Indianapolis on Channel 4 late Saturday nights. The sponsor spots, they had the same furniture stores going out of business, prices slashed to the bone. Every week for years, it took these people decades to go out of business, right? And after a while, it got to be that you looked forward to him. And I can't believe he's still around. I don't want to do a dramatic, I'm getting out of the business, but this will be the last round of action figures that I'm going to be offering for sale it'll be the year 2024. Without going into great detail, there'll be one more Jim Cornette variant figure with a little twist on it this time. And I am out of the action figure business. And I will explain why. Because of the pre-planning, several reasons. One, because of the pre-planning. This took, with the Midnight figures, 2 years to execute. But you have to commit to this massive undertaking if some financial investment is involved. And, I started thinking now as I get to my later years, if something had happened to me on this thing at the same time we signed the contracts and put everything in motion, somebody would have told Stacy 2 years later, hey, by the way, we got 4 tons and a couple $100,000 worth of action figures. Where would you like them?
Hello, Stacy. The boat has arrived.
Yeah, the boat has docked and your ship has sailed. And also because even though the action figures, the reason why we've done this, just like the Midnight Express scrapbook, just like a lot of the things we've done, is how I feel. I'm a collector and I'm a wrestling fan collector. And so are you. And we've loved doing this because we like to make shit people collect. I live in a fucking museum. Stan was joking with me the other day. He was thinking about moving. He said, I guess you can't ever move, Corny. It'd be like moving the Smithsonian. But so I've liked making stuff that people collect and the different variants and the debut editions or whatever the case. And they've been very popular. But I don't want to start making 6-figure and or multi-year commitments at this stage of the game when I've already done these. I think the reason why that most of them are collector's items, or at least prized members of people's collections, is because they're limited number and they weren't mass produced to the heavens. But at the same time, we've done quite well. And I hung out. Actually, the other Cornette figure I mentioned is ready, but I didn't want to step on these Midnight figures since they came in. Because I wanted to go out with the Midnight figures and make sure that these guys, got the figures that they should have had a long time ago. And we talked about, the various toy company deals and promotional politics or whatever. But now we can close this up when this has been executed and people have had the opportunity. If you really liked Midnight Express, well, this is the final piece of merch. We've had the books, the DVDs, the pictures of this is the last piece of merchandise. And so we want to thank everybody. Me too. I'm making something out of this. Eventually, I think I will. But thank you to everybody who has or will participate, and for providing Stan and Dennis and Bobby's kids and grandkids with the last reminder that the Midnight were something special to them. So You can right now go to JimCornette.com. Hotchkiss is over his deathly illness, and you can see banners on the front page. You can click on that, and you can see all the information on the various the tag team sets that come with a picture, the tag team sets that come with a picture and a book, which one's which, what you would like. They start at $99.95. So I think it was with Solomon last week. As a one guy, he said, I'd love to have the 4-pack, but to afford it, I'd have to sell a kidney. And I wanted to write him back and say, motherfucker, if you need to sell a kidney for $229.95, you need to reevaluate your life from the ground up, right? But nevertheless, for the budget conscious, we're starting at $99.95, and everything goes on sale Saturday, February 10th at noon Eastern time. And we're going to stand over Hotchkiss and make sure he's right at the crack of noon on the special deluxe packages with Bobby's autograph, because we know those are going to go quickly, but we can't figure out a fucking special lottery system. We don't know how else to do it, but first come, first serve. What are your ideas?
My ideas for what?
How could we do this more fairly, where everybody gets a fair crack at it?
Well, I think everyone's going to get a crack at it, but I think it's important to know from what you just said, because a lot of people may be hearing this, you do things very differently than most people in and around wrestling. When it comes to merchandise or something specific like this, the action figures, you're a direct partner from the first dollar spent. This isn't something where someone else puts up the money and you just sit back and hope for a royalty. This is something where you are involved from the very beginning. You're a partner in the entire process. You own the process.
Well, and I had 6 figures of the process tied up in the process. I was hoping that the fucking boat wouldn't be shot down or something by goddamn Somalian pirates or whatever. But that, we've been lucky with the audience we have, and that's why I thanked everybody a minute ago. But with the audience we have, just volume-wise, numerically, we're able to reach enough people that we can be our own platform, tell people you can have the greatest product or the most valuable service or the most wonderful commodity. But if you don't have a way to tell people that it's available, then you can't make any money on it. And so that's why so many of the guys, as we've talked about before, I don't mean to, go into it again, but so many of the guys in the business, especially in the territory days or in the old days or even in some modern times, really get screwed on their royalty or their likeness or, the money they should earn from same, because they don't have their own platform. They're working for the man, the big machine. And you can be a talent that contributed, but you can also, at the top level, you can be overshadowed by the Stone Colds or the Cenas or the Reigns or whoever the big merch mover is, to where you maybe be a great merch seller on your own, but fuck, how much money do people have? And this guy's, a license to print money, and everybody's throwing their money at him. So, this way, the Midnight actually so far, without doing everybody's tax returns, and they're very grateful, since I'm the young one. I'm 62, Stan's 70, going to be 1 very soon. Dennis 73, and a cancer survivor twice. They've made more money off the action figure 4-pack than any pay-per-view payoff they ever got. So, because we didn't have our own platform either. So that's the difference. And some guys could make one. Don't you think the modern day guys, they've got enough of a following that they could, if they were.
Not everyone's a businessman, because it's not just having the following.
I said they've got enough of a following. They could make one, but could they administrate it, keep it up, be entertaining on a regular basis at another genre, whatever the case? Are we entertaining at other genres?
Whatever genre this is, I think so. So that's at least 1. But I think it's also a scary investment. Not everyone has the money to invest. Not everyone would make that kind of investment. And you feel bad sometimes. I mean, I don't want to say anything, but there's one toy company I know of out there who, signed up a bunch of guys to exclusive contracts. And if you really look at it and you look at the royalty rate, it's almost, I dare say, impossible for the wrestlers to make any money on this. And that's the thing you feel bad about, because you want to see more creative product out there, but there has to be a really good way for people to make money. And you did it the best way, which is actually it's your project. You're a partner from the first dollar.
Well, yeah, well, thank you for looking at it in such a cold and calculating way. I prefer to look at it as we're trying to bring something that our fans would enjoy directly to them without involving fucking Walmart or goddamn some other vicious, evil corporation that's going to take a large part of the proceeds before the poor R&B star gets any money, for heaven's sake. But anyway, JimCornette.com on Saturday, February the 10th is when that will all take place.